Who is it? Vinny!
Hey, dude, are you there?
Hey, what's up,
I'm
my
here,
brother?
man.
How are you,
Dude,
man?
I don't have a scary story, man. I was like, I'm gonna have pretty much a heart attack. I'm like having a heart attack, but I can't scream or anything. Basically, laying on the floor, panicking.
Oh!
No, you weren't. You built the place. I haven't seen the Hopi in thousands of years. Don't make fun of my people. Period.
Sorry,
I'll
Brandon.
come after your ass and cut you up into little bitty bits.
Facebook page down because people said Richie from Boston's gay. He's gay. I'm gay. I'm a gay man.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, you can prosecute me for that if you like.
No, it's not why I'm doing that. I'm just saying there's a lot of...
That is what you did. Bigelow started buying websites, including one in British Columbia, Canada. So all of a sudden, this kind of triggered Brian Vike.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We've got a special report for you. We've got a few UFO videos that we want to share with you.
Welcome back, everybody. Blake Cousins, along with Orlando Smith and Brent Cousins, we're going to be going over incredible imagery.
Third phase of moon. Third phase of moon.
Ten, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
All right. Welcome to GUFON, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. And welcome to the creepiest cryptid topic show tonight. Creepiest cryptid. Anyway, that's what we're doing. I'm not doing it alone, of course. I'm going to bring in Michael Rozier. You all know him from DARKHOUR, Space Paranormal. So I am going to bring him on in about 3, 2. Hey, guys. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Hey, Rich. How you doing, my friend? Good to see everybody out there tonight.
Doing good. Fantastic. And yourself?
I'm doing fantastic myself. I didn't have a funny play on words there, but I'll try to think of something as the show goes.
No need, my friend. I've got that covered. But thank you for joining. I asked you just about an hour ago, hey, you want to join me? I said, I got nothing again. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then you mentioned cryptids. I'm like, it's not my forte, but if you want to come on, I'd love it. And you said, sure. And I said, wow,
absolutely.
I can't believe he said yes. All right. I'm like, he's going to come on and help out. So before we jump into that, I want to thank everybody who's been watching Third Phase UFO reports as well. It's insane what's happening over there and what will be happening. And thanks and a shout out to Third Phase of Moon for giving us all the opportunity. And don't forget, if you yourself have something you want to send in, you wanted on GUFON or Third Phase UFO report, maybe even DARKHOUR Paranormal would like to do it. You let us know where you want it. You want it on all three? You want it on GUFON? You want it on Third? Let us know where you want it showcased, and we'll do that for you. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think that. I know I threw you in the loop, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to.
Of course I do. And I'm always open to that. And people do send me things sometimes, a lot of anecdotal evidence, which is very interesting. But yeah, absolutely.
And don't mean to be a jerk. Not what I'm about to say, because I know a lot of you are sending us stuff, and that takes time out of your day to do that. I appreciate it, no matter how small a short amount of time. But don't send dots. If anything, that's a dot that's on a black or white background without any reference points. It's hard for us to want to post it because nobody can see it, and everybody's going to say that could be anything. We're looking for things that actually have maybe a three-dimensional shape to them. Michael, what do you think? Something like that, or...
Yeah, it's something that it doesn't just look like a dot, because honestly, we can only go so far with a dot. I mean, it's interesting to see, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of that out there. We're looking for something a little more definitive. Take, for example, what Third Phase of Moon had posted the other night with the cube rotating in the air. That was pretty cool. And you could see, a lot of definition on the object based on the way that it was moving. So something like that, we have a little bit more to work with. You know what I mean? Now, if that dot is streaking across the sky and spelling out words that we might, know, I'd like to see that too. But, always use discretion. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we would call those skyriders, like airplanes, I guess, people would say.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I feel bad is telling you that I can't use this because it's a dot. And then sometimes in the past, I'm not saying who, but people get mad and they're like, oh, I see. It's only got to be something that looks like CGI or something better. I'm like, yeah, it does. That's right. You're right. I want something to look good. No dot on a background. That's all we're saying. You shouldn't be offended. And they shouldn't, because at least they're trying. And it could be a UFO. But most of the time, there's no tripod involved. So the object's going all over the place. And they're saying it's zigzagging, and I can't say it's really zigzagging because you're zigzagging. Anyway, I digest. So
you digest well.
I had no choice. I've been backed up. So I got to take a nice celebratory drink. Jaime Maussan made me a Trump cup.
Oh, good. Let's see it. All I have is soda water, nothing special.
Yeah. That's definitely Democrat water. Oh, I'm joking. I'm sorry. Nothing special. What did I just say?
Oh, Jesus.
I had no choice. The jokes are out there. All I can do is propel them forward. All right. I am going to bring in the chat. So, Michael, I'm going to take a portion of you and make you a little bit small. Not much smaller. 8 to 10%. People will still see everything. All right, so
I'm more partial to 7 to 9%. If you can do that,
I think I can. I think I can accommodate that request. Here we go. 7. We'll do 7.0. Perfect. Hold on. There it is. 7.0. And now I'm bringing it. Oh, that is beautiful. Look at that. 6.9. I even got it in better for you.
I can't see anything. I
know, but they can.
Yes, they can.
They see it all. All right, now it looks beautiful. So we are doing. Man, this does look pretty good, I have to admit. I mean, I never used Zoom before, so I didn't know if it was gonna work, and I'm freaking out before the show. I'm like, "Hey, Mike, we gotta do a test." He's like, "All right, hold on," and I'm like, but we did it plenty of time. I have to admit, I'm still shaking from that. I hate doing stuff on the show. The chat. That's my thing, lining up the chat. That's what I do. That's not a mistake. It's done purposely for you, the viewer. I'm bringing you into the show as well. Do you see what I'm doing? That's a question.
No, I don't.
No, I'm just. I was saying that for everybody, really. All right.
This is weird. Go ahead.
No shout. Well, this is how it is. First 15 minutes of the show, right?
Oh, it's just the whole thing where I have my phone up and I'm trying to have a visual of you and try to have this conversation that we normally have, and it's actually more like radio, but I can still see myself. All right, enough about the format. This is funny.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. You would probably do yourself justice by not looking at anything.
Yeah, no, I might have to do that.
I don't know. Don't listen to me. Whatever works for you.
No, this is fine.
I love radio more than I do video. Let me tell you why.
Me too.
Yeah, I bet you I know your answer. It's because it leaves more to the imagination to the listener.
Mm-hmm.
There's no mystery on what I'm doing. If I fell out of my chair, yeah, it's funny. But if you hear me fall out of the chair and oh no, you're imagining that. I think that is a little more entertaining. I don't know. What do you think on that paranormal
I think
subject?
it works. I think it works better for talk radio, you know what I mean? Or talk formats, because, think about back in the day when, televisions weren't in every household, but radios were. People would gather around and listen to these stories that, or books that were read over the air, for entertainment purposes. And, you'd sit and you'd listen to the story. You'd be using your imagination. So it was a personal endeavor, whereas today, we do have the visuals to back things up. And again, it's more like in between television and radio, what we do here. So it's interesting, but if I had to have a preference, I have to say radio is much better in involving the imagination, at least.
Yeah, unless they're this is why I always wanted to do a show like this, because I show a lot of UFOs and stories about, that have video and everything. And I always wanted people analyze it with me and look at it. And when I did the radio show, I'm like, well, if you were able to see it, over here is this incredibly real looking monster. I'm telling you, it's not Paradoyle. Paradoyle. Yeah, that's funny.
It's funny. We always know what you're talking about.
It is weird. Yeah. I got my own dictionary. All right. I learned from the Jordanosaurus. So stupid. So thank you. And everybody, I'm not going to do roll call, but somebody turned blue today. Did anybody notice? Coral Ann in the TV shed is blue. She's got a wrench. She does. And you know what? I'm giving it to you. You don't have to use it. Capiche? Hey, it's a one capiche show. She doesn't have to use it. Don't feel pressure. It's just there. And I think you know what it means. Capiche? Oh, two capiche. That's the fastest we've had.
Congratulations, Coraline.
Yeah, congratulations on that. Good job.
Consecutive capiches.
Yeah, that's rare. Back-to-back capiches. It's not normal. It's like the back-to-back home run.
Yeah, you don't see that every night. No, it's not. Well, it's just not normal, like what we're going to be discussing tonight with these odd cryptids that people don't really generally talk about.
They are weird, and I know you did a little bit of work before the show, and I appreciate that. But you said you found a couple to 6 different, maybe oddly never heard about cryptids?
Some of them, I mean, people in the regions are familiar. Like, for example, the Rougarou. I mean, some of our guys have even talked about the Rougarou. It's like Dogman. It's like a werewolf-like beast. But I mean, if you look at the word, I was, saying it incorrectly to myself for a while. It's a French, I think it's French word. Well, it comes from loup-garou, which is French. Medieval France was when this thing was first seen, but we'll get into that. But again, no, just to kind of answer your question, some of these guys know who live in the area.
Do you know how to spell it so I could look it up?
Yeah. It's Rougarou.
Wow. I would have said Rougarou. Rougarou. Oh,
that's what I said at first to myself. Yeah, Rougarou, but it's Rougarou.
Rougarou. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the Rougarou? Cool. I'm going to show everybody. Everybody.
All
right, here's the, hold on, I'm pulling it up. I got to cover you up, Michael. I don't mean to.
I can't see anyway, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the Rougarou. He's got fangs. He looks like half werewolf, half vampire almost. Is that him?
I can't see.
No, I know, but is that what you're familiar with?
I mean,
it has to be.
Well, it's a werewolf-like beast. Yes, it's yeah. I think that there might be something along the way of Dogman here, but we can talk about if there are any characteristics that they either share or are different from each other to draw a conclusion with that. I mean, again, the thing about the Rougarou is that, like I said, the first sightings, or at least the first talking about it, was in medieval France. and that was a long time ago. So how much of this is legend, I'm not really sure, but people have still seen it up into this time. And this is something down in southern Louisiana, I think New Orleans and surrounding areas, that this particular cryptid is found in the swamps and bogs and so forth.
No way. I didn't know that's where it was. See, this looks like it would be in a colder region. They're showing, yeah, here it is. The Rougarou werewolf. They even have part vampire maybe. And they show a picture of the guy, what was the guy in the Avengers? What was the claw? The guy with the claw and the hair?
Wolverine?
Wolverine. Could he be part of a Rougarou?
I always took Wolverine to have some sort of shape-shifting abilities, but again, I think in the X-Men, that was all chemical that changed them. If I'm not,
yes,
no, was it? Because they were gifted to.
I think it had something to do with genealogy, somehow splicing them together, maybe. But could he fit into the Rougarou? Are you vaping?
No. Why? Why do you ask? The mute button. Yes. Sorry.
It's been happening.
Oh, I did it once.
I know, just now. That's weird because I was thinking, this looks just like the Rougarou. I know you can't see it. I'm sorry.
I pulled it up on my phone where you are, so I do have a little image of it. And
okay.
You're right. It does look like Wolverine. I think a lot of people put some imagination in when they recreate these creatures for art purposes. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can find something.
Is there a recent sighting of this thing?
I believe it's been seen within the last 20 years. So I mean, that's probably as recent. Yeah, it's been all throughout history. This has been seen in different places too. But right now, I think it's centralized in terms of attention down in, like I said, Louisiana. But their culture it's steeped with this legend.
This is a vicious looking creature, man.
Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to be friendly. That's for sure.
So when we're done with this topic, at the end of the topic, I want to go through each one again and rate what we believe is between 1 and 10, how real it is and how it isn't. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that.
Just to see and maybe ask people in the chat room to give us their thoughts as well with numbers. We'll do 1 through 5. We'll do 1 through 5, make it easy.
Okay.
10 is too many numbers. You want to do 10?
We could do 5. We could do 10.
I think 5. We'll keep it 1 button. You don't have to press 2 in case you go 10.
Actually, good idea. Yeah, make it to 5.
Super easy. Stupid. Welcome to GUFON, everybody. I'm Rich Giordano, and I am sitting here with Michael Rozier from DARKHOUR Paranormal, and we're talking about the possible creepiest cryptids that are known to man. Now, has a Rougarou ever been? I don't think it's been captured, right? Never.
I don't think so.
Okay. Were you looking up something else on this?
I was gonna look up and see if I could find like an eyewitness drawing of this creature. Yeah, let me see if I can do that real quick.
I was running through a few of the pictures here, while we're talking, give people something to look at, and I didn't come across that yet. Not that I was looking for it, but I didn't see a lot of artists. I think maybe I found one here. No. This looks like here. This may be one I'm showing now. Wow, that does look like somebody's drawing of it. Big time. It's not art. It's definitely not art. This is like if I drew it, yeah, it's like that bad. Actually, it's much better than I could have done. I can't draw hands, face,
okay, there we go. Yeah,
or a leg. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I wonder where it. You said it derived out of where? Did you say France or something?
Yeah, medieval France.
Like, that's around what, 1500s? 13?
I can't remember, to be honest
it's around
with
there,
you.
I think. Yeah, it's around there. I don't think medieval's in the early thousands. I think it was like 1500s.
It's interesting to see which one of these legends are standing that test of time. Like, you remember Spring-Heeled Jack in London? Yeah, I mean, like, this is something that, we aren't really seeing anymore, or we are, and we're calling it something else. But there's so many of these cryptids that come and go. And yet there are others that, again, just stand the test of time, and they've been with us forever. Even Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot. It's the most popular one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was right. It's the 15th century.
Nice.
I just checked, yeah. That's what we do here at GUFON. We teach and destroy.
Teach and destroy.
Right.
Good song, man.
Oh, don't even get me started on the Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I would think the first one with the Rougarou would listen to Metallica.
Rougarou walking around the bayous of, Cajun country with a set of headphones on, listening to, Fade to Black.
Right. And he's air guitaring it.
With one hand, the other one's playing the drums. Come on, you got the whole band there.
Oh, that's so funny. The Rougarou, one-man Metallica band. Yeah, Bigfoot? What music do you think Bigfoot would listen to?
Yanni.
My God. He does.
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to miss the silence up too much out there. It's very peaceful out there in the woods.
Oh my God, you're 100% right.
The bog, you could just sink to the bottom or get snatched up by a gator real quick. There's none of that problem up there in the woods.
That's hysterical. I could see it, dude. I love it. All right. So Bigfoot would listen to Yanni. Metallica is the Rougarou. What's the next cryptid that we have here, by the way?
Let's go to the Pope Lick Monster, which is from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, I'm interested in that name. Why? Do you know why Pope Lick? I know it's the name. Is that a guy's name?
I can't remember if I had come across in my earlier research where the Pope Lick name came from. I think it has to do with the area, and if somebody's over there in Louisville, Kentucky, and you can clarify this for us, let us know. But I know that the trestle that this thing is supposedly living under is an active train trestle, and I believe it's called the Pope Lick Trestle Bridge. So I think it has to do with demographics, but I'm not 100%.
I'm sorry. I was imagining what you were telling me, and I don't know if I heard you say how long it's been around.
I didn't.
Okay.
This one has been around for a little while, but I couldn't find anything in the way of its origin.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that when you research some of these things, it's hard to find some stuff you need. I'm going to pull up here and see if I can get a picture of this thing.
This is also another one of those dogmen-esque type creatures, but this one is interesting.
This is it? I'm sorry.
This one's... No, go ahead.
It has the horns on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought it was a goat man.
Well, I don't know why there are so many cryptids, and we're going to get into that one actually in a little bit, but that have this goat appearance, or it's either goat, pig, or dog.
You know the famous one where he's looking sideways almost like, are you talking to me? And his head's at the side?
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
I mean, it looks real and it looks fake. I mean, but it looks like it could be a real picture of this thing. I'm not sure if it's a dummy, but the pictures are pretty cool. I mean, I don't think it would be impossible to make somebody look like this with costume.
No, not at all. I mean, you could do that easily. And if you have a trail cam, which I think this picture was taken with, I'm pretty sure that this one's a hoax, but I think that's an accurate portrayal of what people think he looks like to some degree there.
Here's the Pope Lick Bridge. Some little pictures here they're showing. Oh, that's a creepy looking bridge too, man.
Oh, yeah. It's 80 feet high.
Wow, is it?
Yep. And the trains come right through there. Now, one of the things about this particular cryptid is that it has so many deaths associated with its legend. And none of them are directly from the cryptid itself. It's all these urban explorers going out into this area, which is very dangerous, climbing up the trestle and getting caught up there when a train comes. There's been many deaths associated with that, and it's really unfortunate that that's what has happened with people looking for him. Yeah.
Yeah, this one. All right. Okay. Music. for this guy. I am going to say classic piano.
Classic piano?
Yeah,
Classic piano it is.
classic piano. He's a pianist. He could even be playing it out in the wilderness.
Yeah, you know what? It might not even be something like Beethoven. You know, it could be like Chopin or some Chopin.
Yeah.
Or what's the other one that is really avant-garde? Oh God, it'll come to me. I'll think of his name, the composer.
There's a few, but yeah, I can't think of one. Who would you have a better choice, maybe?
No, I like that one. I think that's befitting because he doesn't go anywhere, and it's hard to bring a piano someplace, right?
Oh my
So
God.
he sits under the bridge and he plays the classical piano and waits for people to come over. See, one of the things is that he supposedly lures people over there to get onto the tracks and then meet their fate that way instead of him directly doing it. So I think it works perfectly.
Oh, that is amazing. So you're like listening to this piano music, and he's playing it with his eyes closed, and he's imagining, and he's trying to get into his vibration. Yeah, that's cool. And then he sends out the thoughts to passerbys. Come to the train tracks, my friend.
Moonlight Sonata, Rich?
Yeah.
I love that song, man. You know what really caught my eye, or my ear, I should say, about that song is in the movie Interview
with the Vampire?
Interview with the Vampire. Yeah, there's the scene where Tom Cruise is playing the piano, he's getting into a different movement of the Moonlight Sonata. I think that was the Moonlight Sonata. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right.
That's what that was. Yeah. He's playing the second movement, I think. I'll have to look at it again.
No, that's a shame. But movement, never mind. It was a joke. First grade over here, guys. For me, anyway, for this half of the show. Wow, okay, so the first one, Metallica. Second one was Yanni.
Yeah.
Who was the second one?
Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
We should write this down. Hold on.
It's fun to try to remember, too. But, yeah, and then this guy, the Poster Lick, what is it? Pope Lick?
Pope Lick Monster.
See, Joe Monk says it's Johnny Cash he's listening to. Yeah, you know, some of these were...
too.
Yeah, Johnny Cash, well, it's an instrument. He'd be playing it. See, I started out with what band would they listen to? But I also like...
Oh, good point.
But I also like, that they could play things. Because, you know, they're out there. People throw pianos away. You know?
Yeah.
Leave them in junkyards. You can go get one. And
well, I mean, if you want to take this further here, the piano would probably be out of tune, exposed to the elements.
Oh, yeah.
So he's gonna create his own brand of piano music there. Very atonal.
Yes. I was gonna say eclectic music, but either way, it's funny.
That's funny.
So the Pope approved that name, you said?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he definitely did. He sent him a letter. It was a nice postcard of him on the front with his arms, big arms, like he's going to give a hug. He said, I like the moniker, and you may use my name. That's what he said.
That's unbelievable to me. Like, why? That was Long Island Bigfoot asked, and I just wanted to get that out there. Seriously, why?
Good. Well, it worked for a good joke.
Oh, boy. Oh, some people said that ZZ Top would be for Bigfoot. That's it. That's actually.
That's just because he's got long hair, huh? It's because he's got the beard.
It's the beard, yeah. It's the hair, man. That's so funny. Bigfoot listens to pan flute music, Joe Monk said. Yeah, that could be true too. They all work.
Well, Pan does play pan flute music, so I mean, if they hanging out together somewhere in the woods, yeah, why not? We'll make a party out of it.
Bob Gray says something, I think he's saying something funny would be watching Bigfoot play hopscotch. That is, or jump rope.
That would be hilarious.
I would love to see him on a trampoline too. Or off a high dive. Oh my God, these are brilliant. See, this is why you come here. This is why you come. Not only will you learn.
Said the trampoline. Sorry, come on. I'm sorry. That was just a hell of a visual. You said trampoline, and I pictured the end of the Man Show with all the girls on trampolines, and here comes Bigfoot. Sorry.
That's 100% accurate.
Oh, man.
That is so perfect in every way. Well, I'm turning on the air conditioner here.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. It's coming on over to me. 3, 2. All right. Is that on? Yeah. All right. All right. So let's get to the number 4. Fourth. Well, we threw in Bigfoot, so we're halfway through pretty much. So who's the next one?
Let's do the Melon Heads in Ohio.
Excuse Wyatt? They actually have a thing called
Melon
Heads. No way. Let me pull
Yes,
that
and they're
up.
not just in Ohio. Yeah, they're out in the Northeast as well. I don't know about any other countries. I mean, maybe somebody can bring some light to this, but I found that they were pretty indigenous to North America. But I mean, it could be wrong. Now, the story goes, this is one of those stories like the New Jersey Devil, where, you know, there's some sort of very fantastic description of how this thing was brought into existence. The Melon Heads are no different. Apparently, they were maybe part of some sort of facility that was doing certain testing. And what ended up happening was that their whole physical appearance was deformed and their heads grew very big. Now, there is a disease out there, and I can't remember what it's called, that will actually cause the head to swell in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's, you know, early on when the bones are still pliable or how that works. But I remember coming across a legitimate disease that might have explained some of the deformities that these particular small people were displaying. But here's the supernatural aspect of it. They live in the woods and they have very stealthy presences. So it's hard to hear them coming. Usually you just get a glimpse of one of these things. And I don't know if anybody's actually interacted with them. But I mean, who knows? There are communities especially in America, where, you know, they're very isolated. They've been in that community cycling for many generations. You know, who knows? Maybe we were seeing something along those lines, you know, in these cryptid sightings with the Melon Heads.
I didn't know these were called Melon Heads. That's why you're here tonight, because this is not my forte, and I can't believe it. This whole time, these are the Melon Heads. That's amazing to me. How long have they been around?
I think that they've been around since I'd say for the last couple hundred years, but I'm not 100% sure about that. It might have been longer.
It's a little sad, you know, because they're saying that these things are creepy. How? Just because of the way they look? I'm sorry. What was their mystical thing they do?
Well, they apparently live in communities out in the deep woods there in Ohio. I mean, again, these have been spotted in other places as well, but I think, you know, that's where we see the most concentrated sightings of these things. So they live out there alone, again, isolated, and they sort of pop up once in a while, and people will see them standing by the side of the road. People have reported seeing juveniles, you know, kids, much smaller, but still have the same affliction. And that's generally how people were defining these things, was by the size of their head, obviously with the name like Melon Head. But again, there is a disease out there that will cause that act to actually happen. So maybe it's just a population of these poor folks that are afflicted with this and now have this this brand on them, if you will.
So they don't get into people's heads or show up in their homes and scare people to death. Nothing to do with anything like that. Just that they're creepy.
I think in my research, there were stories like that peppered amongst other stories that were more benign. So I'm led to believe that they're more of a benign presence rather than something aggressive or, you know, forceful in any way.
Yeah. You know, it's perfect. Now Family Guy has Stewie, who's a melon head. I didn't realize that.
Oh, God.
That's funny. He's a melon head.
Technically, you're right.
Right? Okay. Well, let's look. Stewie. Stewie. Family Guy. Yeah, he's a melon head.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is absolutely brilliant on the creation of that character. Because he's creepy. That's a brilliant depiction
I wonder
of a baby who's got brains like a... He could just be a melon head.
Yeah, I wonder if that's something that the creators had thought about. I wonder if that's actually something, if there's something there along those lines. That would be interesting, man.
That's what I got to know. Let's call them tomorrow. Remind me.
That's fine. Yeah, I will. Give them a ring.
I'd say I'm joking, but I'm really curious. I don't know if I've ever heard
me
anybody
too.
talk about it.
No, this is the first for me, man. I've never heard of that association.
Well, you are on GUFON.
That's right.
Okay, so I did a little...
believe it.
I did a little thinking about the melon head. What would the melon head listen to?
Mm-hmm.
And I really I'm having a hard time with it. Why don't you take this one first? I know
man, this one's tough. Yeah, go ahead.
No.
I was trying to think about it too, and I was trying to play off something without the hair. Oh God, no, I don't want to say that. Let's just say hardcore. Get him some, boots, and give him some leather jackets, some brass knuckles, and throw him in a pit real quick. Here we go, hardcore.
Well, that's not far from where I was. Now, if I'm using the picture of Stewie, that kind of ruins it because that's not what it looks like. Hold on, let me. This is so annoying doing it this way. These kind of pictures I'm showing are of the famous ones, the famous depictions that we've all seen. Pretty wild. They got the eyes wide open and stuff. That reminds me of, I was going to say goth music.
Okay, yeah, sure. That could work.
Or speed metal, that's where I was kind of thinking.
I dig.
Yeah, so you said hardcore?
Yeah, I said. Yeah, right. I was thinking hardcore. Back in the days. Remember those shows? I don't know if you guys had them out. Well, I mean, you were over here on the East Coast at one point. We used to have these parties out in the woods, and they'd be at some abandoned, some sort of structure. Usually, it was industrial, and we would just book bands out there, and there were a lot of hardcore shows that you just walk into the middle of the woods, and you hear them setting up and doing sound checks. That's how you found them if you weren't from the area. You just walk through the woods. That's
cool. Yeah, we had stuff like that when what did we call it? The power lines. We would have to drive up to the power lines. There, the huge towers and everything. There was a line of them that ran right through the city. So we would go to the power lines in the middle of nowhere. Now, I mean, it's almost downtown Scottsdale. It's weird. 35 years ago.
How things change.
Yeah, it's weird. It's beautiful, though.
Wow.
Yep. So that's interesting. All right. So next, who do we got next?
We got next? We've got one of my favorites and one of the ones that I'm actually a little apprehensive about, but nonetheless, it's the Pukwudgies. Pukwudgies, I think is how you're supposed to say it. Pukwudgies.
Squeeze me? What is the name? How do you spell it?
Pukwudgies. Looks like Pukwudgies, but it's Pukwudgies.
Okay. Oh, no. They're like gremlins?
Yeah, they're like little troll-like beings.
Trolls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Now, these guys are interesting because they're native to Massachusetts, particularly, although they have been seen in some of the surrounding states. Most of this phenomenon is based right in the Bridgewater Triangle, which is our version of a triangle with all sorts of strange activity that goes on inside. Now, it was the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe, I believe, that tells the story of them actually having a good relationship with these Pukwudgies at some point, and something happened. There was a legend in regards to the land and Cape Cod, and the Pukwudgies were upset. They felt that they were being left out of being gifted certain parts of the land by this higher deity. Starts with an M. I can't remember the name. And so therefore, the relationship between people and these Pukwudgies, it soured. So what ended up happening, instead of being friendly specters of the forest, it became more mischievous and aggressive entities. Now, you could talk even today, there are people who are still seeing these things, and they have an interdimensional component to them. They say it's because these guys were actually, practicing the old world magic, and so they always had that knowledge. But they're very physical beings, but they can dip in and out of frequency, perhaps the way a Native American knows how to shapeshift. But if you ever see one of these things, you're not to approach them, because all it takes is, I guess, a touch or getting close enough, and they can actually persuade you in one way or another to come with them into whatever dimension they end up going. And there have been cases where people have seen these things materialize right in front of them while they were out walking their dog in the woods. Freetown State Forest up here is a big location where people have seen these things. And I'll be honest with you, in my own experience, I might have mentioned this once or twice before, not many times, but when I was doing the ghost investigation stuff and I had backed off a bit, I was dealing with some things in a property that I lived in. And when I moved from that property, I did feel that there was that separation from this negative entity that was at the other place. But in the new spot that I was in, there was something else there. And I don't necessarily know that was even a sentient sort of energy, but it was very negative. And I remember sitting one night in the living room, and I was waiting for my girlfriend at the time to return home from work, and I was looking up the Pukwudgies, because I had said to myself, well, if I can't ghost hunt because I'm going to get an attachment, I can at least do the research, right? Well, as soon as I started researching the Pukwudgies, I started feeling something behind me. And it was very dark and very heavy. And I was like, what the hell? So I got up and I felt the rise, as I've mentioned, even to you, Rich, when there's a spirit, all the hair stand up and you just feel like the waves just kind of pulsating. It's very uncomfortable. And I said to myself, shit, I can't even look this up. I was like really upset about it because, I wanted to research this. So I put it down for a bit, came back to it the next day. And sure enough, the same thing happened again. And that's when I realized, in talking to some people, that these things, as soon as you think about them, it's like a call into the ethers. If they hear it, they come. So that's why I don't talk about them much, but I thought it was good for this list.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up.
Hey, you got your own. You got your own things you do with over there. So.
And it may be because I do things like this. I'm on the show talking about it. I didn't realize.
Oh, sure,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm an enticer. What? Something happened to my? Here we go. Yeah, I don't mean to be, but a Pukwudgie, right? Did I say it? Pukwudgie.
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 Pukwudgie. Was how I guess it was pronounced. Yeah.
Pukwudgie. You know what we'll have to
that's
do?
something I'd like to. What's that?
Get it here. Hold on. Definition of Pukwudgie. Is it Pukwudgie?
Yes.
U.
Pukwudgies.
Let's see what it sounds like. Pukwudgie. Pukwudgie. You know how the computer sounds?
Yeah, I got the pronunciation from Google, so it might not be correct, because it is a Native American word.
Pukwudgie.
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 Pukwudgie. I don't know. Maybe.
Pukwudgie. Or if it's a woman, it would be Pukwudgie. Pukwudgie. I can't. It's pronunciation. I put definition. Idiot. PRONUNCIATION. Enter. Here we go. Pukwudgie. Here she comes. You ready? You won't be able to hear it, will you? No.
I don't know.
Nobody can. Can you hear that?
Nope.
Damn it.
Hello, my lovely internet friends.
How's she saying it?
So today, let's talk.
She's just talking about Pukwudgie. It's not a. Here it is. How to pronounce it? Yeah. My bad. My bad. All right, here we go.
Pukwudgie.
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 Pukwudgie. Pukwudgie.
Pukwudgie.
Pukwudgie. I'm doing it perfectly, so you know.
Pukwudgie.
Pukwudgie. It sounds like the guy actually has an East Indian accent. Like, oh no, I'm going to say Pukwudgie now. Okay, here I go. Pukwudgie. But it's really Pukwudgie, maybe. That's Rich. That's not nice. Let's see.
Well, again, it's one of those Native American words. It's one of those Native American words, and you know they have their own dialect. So,
can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what kind of music a Pukwudgie would listen to.
Industrial.
Industrial, man. Wow, you just got me just whoa.
You think they're living in the dark there. They're in between dimensions. They seem to be aggressive and angry towards people, and that pretty much sums up what industrial music does for me.
Wow. I thought let's see. I don't know if I like what I was gonna say. Give me a second here. Where are you, by the way? You left the scene. Hold on. There you go. All right, there you are. That's weird. What kind of music would a Pukwudgie listen to? See, I got to look at it. Let me see. All right, first thought. I don't know why I think this. Rap.
Rap, huh?
Yeah, it keeps like not rap rock, really.
Well, like Limp Bizkit?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that.
Like Run DMC, Walk This Way.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Old Anthrax, Attack of the Killer Bees.
Yes. So you get it.
Oh, yeah.
Where are we? Okay, we got some time here. Well,
I got two more for you.
Yep. You read my mind.
And we're going to do these two are a little bit more talked about, but still they're very unknown in respect to the other cryptids there. Let's do the Bunyip. And our Australian friends, Australia, you guys should know this one pretty well because there was a book, it was a kid's book called Alexander Bunyip. And essentially this creature hangs around watering holes and billabongs, again in Australia. And it's purportedly evil, but, kids have apparently had friendly interactions with it at times. So I don't know how much I'm really putting into this. I think this is more folklore. Maybe it began with a sighting, or it's just, parents telling their kids, stay away from certain areas or the Bunyip will get you. But I think this creature looked, let's see, more like a big cat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, a big cat, a lizard. It's got it's weird. I'm looking at it. They have one here where it almost looks like a Shrek in a way. And then, and then another one, yeah. So there's one that does look like a cat.
Excuse me.
It looks like a cat bird, and also part a beaver. I don't know.
Yes. It's weird. It's very weird. I mean, you guys, where's Blue Chicken? Blue Chicken should be able to shed some light on this one, seeing as that a lot of Australians know about this cryptid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is something pretty big in their folklore, as I understand.
Where is no Blue Chicken? I don't know if he was going to come later or what, but I do want to welcome everybody here. We're talking about cryptids. I'm with Michael Rozier from DARKHOUR Paranormal, and we're trying to figure out what this thing might look like. The BUNYIP, a bunyip. It looks like a cat, a rat, and I don't know. A cat, a rat,
like you said,
and a
Shrek.
horse. It's got a horse mouth.
Yeah, okay, I could see that.
Weird.
If you look,
sorry, go ahead.
If you look at go ahead. I was gonna go ahead.
No, I'm done. Nah.
I'm just thinking. I mean, you look at the ontology of how something like this could possibly have existed, it just doesn't seem to make sense. I don't know. And it's kind of like this for some of the cryptids that we talk about. Not all of them, of course, because there's more evidence for certain cryptids than others. But I don't know. How would this thing evolve, and why would it have some of the characteristics it would have in the respect to its environment and so forth? What do you think about that, Rich?
I don't know, man. You're right. I was thinking about that, but it also could be part of the. I just had the name, and Montauk Monster. This picture looks like it. The face.
Yes.
It's got a little Montauk Monster in it, and there's several different versions, of course, because nobody really knows. But you're right. It doesn't make sense for the area it might be living in. The environment. You'd think it was either brought here or made here.
Yeah. Either way, it's in an unnatural environment. It must be. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. All right.
All right. So what kind of music do you think the Bunyip would be listening to, Rich?
Bunyip is he's a bongo player. That's it. I don't know why I see that. I see bongos.
Yep. Yeah. I can see it.
What do you see?
No, that's perfect.
Oh,
that's perfect.
If you listen to music, I guess it would have to be kind of like reggae almost. Some reggae, man.
I could see the reggae. Sure.
I could see that. Bunyip on the water. Looking for green and a little bit shelter. What?
Let's say he could be playing some traditional Australian music as well. I don't know what that sounds like, but I'm sure that you guys down in Australia have your own indigenous music.
Of course they don't.
Of
course they don't. Well, let's see. Does anybody Bob Marley? Let's see what people think. I would drop a bear. I would kick the. Hey, come on, Boxville. Oh yeah, you were nice. You didn't spell it out. Okay, that looks like a type of tapar. What's a tapar? Tapar?
I'm not sure.
Maybe they meant tiger. Somebody said, JP Bassignor says he plays bingo, and he was on Paleo's desk yesterday. Oh, Pelosi's desk. Okay. Drop bears are bloody dangerous. We have AC/DC, Dr. Z. Okay, Beastie Boys is one of the bands that they might listen to, wreaking havoc.
Beastie Boys, yep, sure. Check your head.
That fits right in, yeah.
Yep.
Vanilla Ice.
I like that. Ding, 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 ding. And he's too soft.
Yeah, soft, right. That's so I said he plays the bongos.
I think that's it right there.
I think he's a bongo player for sure. And there's a gong sitting behind him. Just for the halibut. All right, we got the last one.
One more. Last one right here, guys. This one's also pretty neat, but I haven't found much in the way of it actually attacking people. Some of you guys out there may be more familiar with the Beast of Bray Road. This is in Wisconsin. It was first seen in 1936 and has been seen since 1936. No, I'm sorry. It was seen in 1936, and then I think the next sighting that was reported was in the 1990s, and it was seen throughout the 1990s. This one's interesting because it's a goat man, I guess. I thought, this is more like a goat man. But there are other people who have talked about it having more dog-like characteristics too. So I'm not really 100% sure. I guess. No, nope. I combined two things here. I'm looking at my notes. So I'm sorry. Beast of Bray Road was a wolf-like creature, and the goat man is something else.
You're right. But
I wrote underneath it. Yeah. So.
But it does have goat man characteristics.
It may. It was. I don't know. I'm sorry. I lumped those two bits of information together. So, yes. So, again, to get back on there, that is true. It was Wisconsin, 1936 was the first sighting, and then seen throughout the 1990s. And this being would walk across the road and stop traffic, but it was a very isolated area. So, that's kind of interesting to know. And yet it wouldn't jump on the car or attack anybody. It was just seen a lot. So, or crouched down, eating on the side of the road, or in some of the more wetland areas in that place. So
And that kind of
that's
makes
an interesting
sense.
one.
It makes sense that it would be
Mhm.
on the side of the road because people throw stuff out the window. You know, they may smell it. You know, whatever. Or roadkill. They smell it and they go up to the roadkill.
Mhm.
I'm sure it's always about food and money on this
Well,
planet.
see, this is the thing too that we were just discussing. Like, there's reasons for its presence. Something like that where it can feed off of its environment. It has habitation, obviously. And even though it may not be indigenous to the area, it can still thrive there. Whereas some of these other cryptids that may resemble what we consider dinosaurs, with big hulking claws and mouths to fit large prey and so forth, but yet that kind of prey doesn't exist in the area. So it's just a little more incongruous, I think. But this one again seems to be more in its natural habitat, being a dogman type of entity.
Well, it is very popular. There's even a wood carving found of this thing in the city.
Mm-hmm. It's well known in the area, very well known in the area.
And it looks like, I mean, it's popular over there, man, alive. It looks like it. Yeah, it does look like part wolf, part man in a way. It stands up, but it still has its main features of a claw or a hoof or whatever they have. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see like
Very
man
strange.
legs. It's not like man legs. It's like his real legs just standing up on two of them.
Yeah, just bipedal or bipedal.
There's
And
even
that's how he's walking.
There looks like there's a trail cam. It looks like I can't tell anything. Here's one. Wow, that's pretty cool. It actually looks real.
My question is, if something like this is as big as people say it is, right? And it's carrying all this weight on these two little scrawny legs that it has, if it's a canine in nature, where does that physiological attribute come into play? How does this thing balance? Would it not make sense to be, running on all fours or moving on all fours rather than on two legs, which it would seem, less stable and weaker? I don't know. I think about these things when I see some of the depictions of what, these creatures might be.
There's a couple of pictures here that look damn real. Man, this is unbelievable. Aw, there's one that shows or it's got extreme form of mange. Aw, it looks like a bear. Oh, what if they're deformed bears?
That's a good thought, actually.
I think I've heard of this before. Because they do look like a bear in some of these. Interesting. And there's one, yeah, it could be a cat. I mean, this is the problem with cryptids. There's never any evidence.
I was talking to Gary Hootenholler last night on the show, and I think you heard this too if you were watching, which I saw you there. Yep. One of the interesting things, I've always wanted to know is what's the most solid piece of evidence we have in the way of some of these cryptids? And his answer was footprints, tracks. And as he explained it, it made a lot of sense why he would say that. He was talking about tracking, wild animals and perhaps how to find more nutrient-rich zones from kills and other kinds of plants and so forth. And what you would see, especially around coyote kills, is you'd see these big tracks, that were from what he thought was Bigfoot. So yeah, there's the biological component that's there. And I think it's really interesting that tracks are probably the most physical evidence we have, wherein I thought he was going to say we have a tuft of hair stuffed away somewhere in a university nobody's allowed to look at. We have some scat or something like that in a bottle, something like this, but no, it's tracks.
I would think so. I think I agree with that because everything else seems to have, well, that's the thing with tracks. They're very distinct, but the thing with them is sometimes you get the fingerprint or the paw print. You can see the ridges in some of these. It's amazing what these footprints or casts of prints have done for especially Bigfoot or any other cryptid creature out there. It's like the scat and the hair. Those have all, to me, seemed, well, they were debunked. Every one of them was debunked. There was a show that said, do we have the best evidence ever? And they had some things I've never seen before. And by the time they were done with it, everything was debunked.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, he
For
mentioned,
Bigfoot. Yeah.
yes, for Bigfoot, but he mentioned that he did have a hair sample that he sent off to a lab and it came back inconclusive. I think it was hair sample. It might have been something else, some sort of DNA that he had collected, but it came back inconclusive because it had either dried up or they didn't have enough of it. But we hear this sort of story a lot, especially when it comes to Bigfoot. You know, these things coming back is, well, you didn't have enough to work with and we couldn't derive anything from the sample you provided. So that's curious too. I feel like that you know, somebody sent something away. How much chance do you think we'd actually hear about it if, you know, they actually stumbled upon the real deal? I don't know. I think they would probably put that away real quick before anybody had any time to analyze that further.
You got it. I mean, yeah, you can't see me, but I'm shaking my head. Absolutely. That's it. And I think some of these scientists, or people who study this stuff, have a boss that says, or maybe it's signed, you know, they sign it when they work there and saying anything that's in, you know, out of this world, you cannot admit it. It must go to us. But don't you think there would be one rogue scientist out there that would steal that stuff or half of it? I don't know.
Maybe there has been. Maybe there has been, and he was caught up with too quickly. Or, you know, we hear stories about guys that have documentation and they stuff it in, you know, hidden places out in the wilderness, you know, under a rock in a specific hillside, and they tell one person about it and then they disappear. So, you know, I don't know.
We need somebody to videotape themselves with the evidence, you know, prove it, and then take it, show them unedited footage of them leaving the facility. I don't know how that would ever happen, but yeah, it's a shame that you can't trust even people you think you should be trusting. That's the whole field.
It is. It's absolutely right, man.
The thing is, and even if it goes with UFOs and aliens, I even said this. If I got evidence of real aliens, I'm not putting it out on GUFON. I don't know what I would do. I've thought about it, and you can't trust anyone.
I'd be worried about, you know, the wrong people seeing that and showing up a little bit later on after the show is over. You know, that's probably my biggest concern in releasing something that I knew was legitimate.
Man, that's why well, early on today, I showed that video of the spy guy. I caught a triangle on video and showed people just before that in the end of June. I could have been followed for 5-6 weeks and didn't even know it. But that guy, I'll show the video later, he just came right out in the open, which I thought was always weird. You know?
Yeah,
he wasn't trying
that was
to hide
strange.
himself right there. It's just bizarre. It's like he almost wanted me to catch him.
That was so weird how he turned his head so seemingly deliberately as he took the tripod up and turned around and went behind the building. And then, you know, when you chatted with the security guard for him to say that he got out of there in such a hurry, like a bat out of hell, I think is the expression you might have used. Yeah, something's up there. That's not just, you know, if you're filming somebody, even if it was, you know, something sleuthy and sleazy, and they catch you and they start filming you, I mean, you're not going to just hightail it out of there. You might pick up and relocate, you know what I mean, out of shame because you're doing something you probably shouldn't be. You got caught. But, you know, for somebody to run like that is just very curious.
I'll show the video. Now, that's only see, I made that short video just to throw it up, but it doesn't, I actually interviewed the guy who was there, the security officer. You just don't see him. You see his feet. But I'll have to bring that back up. It's actually, the video's twice as long as the one you saw. So I'll eventually post that. But we'll talk about that right after. Okay, so music.
Music?
What kind of music? Let me pull it back up. You already know, but I'm going to look one more time. Okay, who do you think they would... What are they playing and who are they listening?
So, Beast of Bray Road. Let's say, you know what? I think that the Beast of Bray Road would listen to something akin to let's say immortal, black metal. Because he's out there in the dark, you know, he's obviously one of a kind. He's very powerful, maybe magical, lots of mystique surrounding his existence.
Yeah.
And he's aggressive, you know, in whatever way that, you know, you want to call it. You know, he's
choice.
predatorial.
Yeah,
better,
it's a real
better
good
idea.
choice.
What do you think?
Oh, man. Jeez. I don't want to be, I'm not trying to be funny when I come up with these answers. I'm just telling you, and I don't know why I can't think of it. I was pretty much going to say the same thing. It looks like the other ones. He's angry all the time, showing his teeth. It's definitely, what's that group that, it's Black something. I can't remember them. Super fast band, like speed metal. Another speed metalist.
I mean, I know my black metal, but when it comes to like death metal and stuff,
yeah,
I'm
something like that. In
short.
that genre for sure.
Yeah.
Not a real. We you know, we've seen a couple that look like that already tonight, so I didn't want to try to say the same thing, but I have no choice.
Hey, if it looks like it, that's what it is.
So
that's the feeling you get off of it.
Yeah, I know. It's all we can do. I want to get the chat rooms. Let's go to number 1. Who was number 1?
Number 1 was the Rougarou.
The Rougarou. So we said what?
Yeah, what did we say for the Rougarou? Oh God, I don't remember.
Yanni was Bigfoot.
Yanni was Bigfoot.
What was it?
I don't remember. I don't remember what it was.
What's the first 3 letters of this thing?
R-O-U.
So let me see. It looked like, I can't believe we can't remember. It's so funny.
I know. It was a good one too. I don't remember what it was.
Piano. No, it wasn't the piano.
That was Poplick.
It
was Poplick. Because he was under the train tracks. Piano.
Wasn't he death metal, I thought?
Was Rougarou
I thought it was. No?
Was it Metallica?
I think it was. Yeah.
It was. It was Metallica. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And the second one was Bigfoot, who did what?
He had Yanni all to himself.
Does anybody in the chat room think that Bigfoot is a Yanni listener? I think so. Yanni. We spent a lot of time on this. Next one?
The next one I think was Melon Heads. Was it?
No. Melon Heads.
Because I bounced around.
Oh, okay. Well, who was next then? Who do you think? Well, we'll go Melon Heads. It doesn't matter. So Melon Head.
Melon Heads was, I said hardcore. I forget what you had mentioned with them.
I don't remember either.
Puck Wedgies we did, and that was, so they looked like trolls. God, see, now I can't remember either. What did we say for Puck
I actually
Wedgies?
thought you were writing them down.
No, you basically told me not to. Well, you said it would be more fun to remember them, and actually it is more fun. We're just not remembering them. We're just having fun.
That's okay. No, you're right. Let's see. Rougarou made a bud swamp dwelling Bigfoot. Rougarou may be what? Let me pull it closer.
Mm-hmm.
JP Bass Senor Bob, it's only sexy if you're wearing high heels. Coral, Demon JP. All right, who's the next one? We'll just move on.
Let's just do, because I don't remember what order I did these. The Bunyip, and that was the Bongos.
Bongo Bunyip. And who?
Well, he hangs out by the Billabong, so maybe he's sporting the shirt too, and he's got the bongos.
Totally,
and,
dude. What's up, Bigfoot, Michigan? How you doing? No, totally, I agree.
And we had the Beast of Bray Road, and I think that was the list.
Okay.
Did we miss anybody?
Oh, it sounds like about everybody. We had Stewie was Melon Head.
Mm-hmm.
The Bunyip, which is silliest. I hate that name, by the way, Bunyip. It's like sounds like Bunyan.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Who's it? Paul Bunyip? I mean, come on. Who else? We're done. All right. So earlier today, I posted the Spy Guy. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I talked about it about a year and a half ago. I know it's been a while, but there's a lot of people out there who make a lot of claims. Oh, I was followed, or my phone was tapped, and nobody ever gets any evidence of that. And by the way, to get evidence of phone tapping is one of the hardest things you could ever prove. So it's funny. I hear a click. I do too. I hear it on every call. It's called cell phones. It's true. Anyway, so the video today shows of a time where I was outside in downtown Phoenix. It was 108 degrees. It was August, and I was looking for UFOs and started recording something. It was off this place called 3rd Street in Virginia. Actually, let's pull it up on the map. Oh, that'd be fun, eh?
Let's do it.
It won't be. All right.
No?
We don't.
No? Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
we'll do
fine.
it. No,
fine.
we're going to do it.
All right. Fine. You do it then. Fine.
No, forget it. I won't do it then.
All right. All right.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm
Okay,
just
good. Excellent.
Thanks. Googlemaps.com. All right. Now we're going to put in Phoenix, Arizona, 7th Street and Virginia. There it is. This is going to be wild. All right, now we have to go to satellite view. Where are you, satellite view? Is this you? Oh, there it is, satellite view. Oh, wow. Wow. All right, so I've got it ready for when we're ready. Now, I'm not going to play the whole video, but I'll just play the end part of it. If I'll find it. Shh. Stop rushing me. Oh my God, I thought it was on 3rd phase. I'm trying to go to 3rd phase. That's funny.
Hey, it's 11:11, guys.
Oh, 9/11
on the East
for
Coast.
Me. Yeah,
on the East Coast. Yeah.
For me. Thanks.
It's all right. You know what to look for in about 3 hours now.
2.
What time did you say it was?
9/11.
I keep thinking it's the daylight savings time messes me up, dude. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right, let me get. All right, I have to remove you for a second. I'm sorry, Michael. No, really.
Not a problem.
Okay.
No, it's okay. Really, it's fine. It's okay.
You really are a good sport.
I like to play.
I know that you're a good sport.
Thanks, bud.
All right, here's the video from today. This is kind of my life back in 2004 and 5 and 6. It was very strange. There's many more of these stories. Well, there's about 4 more of these stories, and one I'm not so sure. Let me make sure you can see this. Yeah. Here we go. Heading my way. So there was a balloon heading my way is what I'm doing here. Taping dots. All right. And I saw a white dot in the sky heading my way. It was a balloon. UFO. And I started recording. Balloons are UFOs now. And I'm scanning the sky as I'm recording this object. I have my camera on the tripod.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
And I'm looking around, and I see another white object heading right towards us. I say us, me and the camera. But I saw an object in the opposite direction heading towards my direction, towards the other white object. I called my friend. That's not me. And as the phone is ringing, I see somebody maybe 600, 700 feet away on the opposite corner. And this person is recording. I see he's got a tripod, and my friend picks up the phone, and we were talking, and I go, hey, there's another guy doing what I'm doing. Maybe they're watching me, seeing what I'm doing. You know, you read these stories online about people who see UFOs and are visited by the Men in Black. I wasn't, but there have been some weird things happening that I won't get into now, but it may have been part of paranoia. I don't know. But my wife was a witness at the time, so I will put the...
It almost looks like he's from a local art school or something.
By the way, watch this. So that's where he's at. Watch. Here it is. This is where the wall he went by, right here. Here's the parking garage. It's in this building. You go through here and you can park underneath. So that's where he was. Can you see it? And I was right here. Pretty wild. So I'm going to go to my spot and turn around so you can see where I was. That's where he was. There it is. That's where he was, right here. Isn't that crazy? It's still like that today.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's exciting. So here's what's happened. Watch, I'll show you the video now. Ah, your mother's got 9 horns. Where is it? Oh, it's here. Paranoia label to the side just for now. But as I'm recording this guy, I noticed he's recording me. He's got his camera pointed right at me, as you can see in this video. As you can see, he's right here. And then he must have parked right here in this little spot. Security guard walked up to me as I turned the corner and we talked right around here. It's pretty wild. Clip.
It's crazy. I can't really see it in real time.
And oh, that's right.
My friend goes,
sorry.
So you'll have
I
to
can't really
record
comment.
him.
Yeah, I will.
It's
So
definitely
I did.
worth watching.
And that's what you see. You see me zooming in on him.
Well, I mean, I can see on the,
And
you know, I have it
recording
on
him.
the phone, but
And he
you know, it's like 10
realizes
seconds
that.
between what you're talking about and
And-
what pops up. So
proceeds to push his camera down into the tripod and
I
then
said
pick up
camera.
the tripod and walk away, turns his head to the left so I couldn't see his face, which I had already recorded.
I almost would have wanted to
With
run
High
after
8
him.
back in 2004.
But it's probably
You
not a
can
good
see
idea.
the quality isn't what it is today. And I thought, well, maybe it's a guy recording me just because he thinks I was doing something nefarious, you know, the attacks on New York and the Pentagon and whatnot. So maybe they were watching me for that reason, but I decided I was going to go over there. Because when he walked away, he turned his head to the left, carried his tripod in the right hand, and went behind a building.
Even back then I could
Which
edit.
was the Girl Scouts of Arizona's, supposedly their home headquarters. And he went behind that building. And I got in my car, threw my tripod in the back, with the camera still attached to it. And I drove over there and didn't see anything. But I did see a security guard who was watching the parking structure. He comes walking out, and I said, "Did you just see a guy with a camera?" And we were talking for a second, and he goes, "Yeah. He was recording, over above them trees or something." And I said, "No, he was recording me." And I told him I was recording a UFO, and I think he was recording me recording the UFO. He says, "Well, he just got in his car and drove out of here like a bat out of hell." Okay. I didn't see him. The guy said it was a reddish car. And that was the spy guy incident. So what I'll do now is play the version I have here. And you can imagine what it was like to be there that day. Here we go.
I wasn't
He
watching
left.
him.
He moved behind the building. He didn't want me to see him, but I got him.
He's gone. I'm figuring out what to
I
do.
thought it was Jeff Willis from, I'm gonna go over there. Should I go over there? He might be a cop or something. He might be like FBI or whatever. Maybe they're following me and seeing what I'm doing. He may have went to the shade, but I'm going over there. Stay on the phone with me because I'm gonna leave the tape running. And I'll say, hey, do you mind if I hang out here? Dude, this is weird. What?
So it was a pretty interesting story right there.
Anyway, that is what happened, and it is pretty strange. This is where it happened right here. I know somebody in the chat room said, it sounds like you were watching him. I'm like, yeah, because he was watching me.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like right over here. Right around this area. And I'm looking towards this way. and videotaping something in the sky heading this way. Then I turned this way and saw another object heading right towards us. I said, that's again. Isn't that weird? It headed right over towards me. And that's when I noticed this guy standing over here looking. I want to see what it looked like from his. See, you can see there's the sign, Clarendon. It's right by Virginia. That's why I said Virginia before. But anyway, well, let me get there. So he's looking right over here.
Out of curiosity, let me play the devil's advocate for just a moment.
Yeah.
Is it possible, because you said you were seeing something at that time, right? You were filming something in the sky, or you were, okay. So you were seeing something. Is it possible that this guy happened to, maybe he was in the building behind you there and saw it too and decided to grab his tripod or something and pop open? No, you saw he was directly looking at you. I know it's a little hard to see with the video.
Let me tell you why. Why did he get in his car and take off?
Right. No, that's definitely very suspicious. I mean, again, like I said to you before, I mean, the fact that he ran so quickly out of there, and you used, the security guard, I think you said, used the term bat out of hell. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Maybe, I don't know. No, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here.
Look at this. It's not even a parking garage anymore. That is so bizarre. It's not even a parking garage. It's a building.
So crazy how quickly changed.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it was 16 years ago. So we were talking right here, and I was looking in this parking lot. You'll see this with the extended video. And I looked at you ever see those cars that people buy, old cop cars?
Oh, yeah.
So I thought it was that. It was like not a Chrysler, but they buy those specific ones. And I'm like, that's the car. That's the car. And no. The guy said his car was red, and it was smaller. And he took off like a bat out of hell. He went down this way, and then he turned left. He wouldn't even tell me. I go, do you know what direction he went? And he goes, he just went down there. It's almost as if he was like covering for the guy himself. It was very bizarre.
Well, maybe he didn't want to get involved, but I don't see what he'd have anything to lose by telling you which direction he went.
This used to be the headquarters for the Girl Scouts of America, right here in Arizona. Now they don't have Girl Scouts anymore, right?
I don't know. Do they?
Wow. The door's gone. That's so weird. There used to be a door there, too.
Is there Boy Scouts still a thing?
It's the Boy and Girl Scouts, I think.
Oh, okay.
Look at all the chemtrails when they took this. It's all chemtrail activity.
Gee whiz, man.
Yeah, Arizona's pretty cool. So that's the spot. Now, other things happened to me over the course of a year and a half, literally almost 3 years. Weird things would happen. And not just me, my wife was a witness, and she's one of the biggest, at the time, she was the biggest skeptic you ever met. Oh, you're imagining this. Oh, that's a balloon. And I needed that, so I trusted her. And we've had certain instances where she was there with me, and we'd seen the same car everywhere we went. Everywhere. For the whole day.
Yeah, that's weird.
We drove 20 miles and saw the same car, same license plate. Come on, man. You know how hard that would be to happen?
No. Yeah, no. That's not coincidence at all.
Well, there was a time where I was out and my wife was at work and I came home early. My neighbor knocked on the door and said there was a couple of people, trying to get in your house, I think. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'll tell you. And he told me that he was in his backyard and heard two men. And he didn't know if it was me or what, but he knew that I was gone. He just saw me leave. And but not I mean, just like an hour ago, before then. So I'm gone. He knows I'm gone. And these guys were there right after I left. And he's like, that's weird. And when he lifted his head over, he was an ex-cop, retired. And he says, can I help you, gentlemen? And they turned around, looked at him, didn't say a word. And he says they were both muscular guys, long sleeve attire, tennis shoes, real nice. Everything looked brand new is how he put it. And he said they definitely looked like military, maybe cop type of look. Well, those guys hightailed it out of there within seconds, but they left a screwdriver in the screen. They were trying to take off the screen on the outside of my window.
Oh my
and
God!
they left
man.
it in there. And when I tried to take the screwdriver out, it was stuck in there because it was a flathead going into a Phillips, and I think they were just trying to, open it up with whatever instrument they had or tool. So there's a police report. I had that on the website a long time ago and whatnot of what happened. Very strange. There was one time where somebody came home, the front door was open, and me and my wife always used the garage because that's where we parked. And I drove in and saw the front door open, but her car wasn't in the garage. So I looked around. The dog was in his cage, thank God. And I asked my neighbor if he saw anything. No. Called the cops. They came over and left like right away. There's nothing here we can't sell. There's no break-in. Nothing was broken. It looks like they got in with a key, he said. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, it's my wife's ex-husband. But it couldn't have been because we changed the locks. But I'm still thinking, who could it be? Who is this? I'm freaking out, especially with that and seeing Spy Guy. Very strange. So 10 minutes later, get a knock on the door and the doorbell. I was in the backyard, so I didn't hear it. So they kept ringing the bell, and I heard it. So I go up. The cops are there. And I said, what? Different cops, by the way. And I said, how can I help you? Yeah, we just got called out to come here. There was a break-in, and, he's looking around. Do you think we can come in? I go, wait a minute, you guys were just here 15, 20 minutes ago. No, sir, I can assure you that wasn't maybe it was another nearby thing, a cop place or whatever. And he goes, but that wouldn't be protocol unless there was maybe violence or something with a lot of damage where you needed more than one investigator there, but they wouldn't call somebody from Scottsdale to come to Phoenix, was his point. And the cop, they were only a mile away from the house anyway. Why would they call any other place? He goes, no, we're the ones who got the call. We were finishing up a traffic stop. And do you mind if we look around? I go, I guess so. So is there going to be a police report? He goes, didn't they leave you one? And I said, yeah, here it is. And he goes, okay. He goes, this is from our district, our precinct. And I said, that's weird. So what does that mean? He goes, I guess these guys, he goes, I can't read the signature down here, and I don't recognize the badge number or the ID number. He goes, but we'll call it in. So he calls it in and says, do you have da-da-da-da-da? And I can't read the signature, but here's the number. And she came back and said, that number doesn't exist. So who the fuck was at my house taking a fake police report? Driving in a cop car?
That's concerning.
Driving in a cop... Dude, I had to get my parents involved. My dad, the ex-cop. My godfather still worked in Scottsdale. He did fingerprinting and processing. So I had him look into it. Nobody knew. They said this is a legitimate form. No doubt about it. Anyway, don't know what to tell you guys, but evidence I have, and I'll post it. Yeah, just some of the stories I never talked about before, especially that. I never talked about that one in depth till now. So, anyway, I kept on talking. I'm sorry. What a rude host. How about you?
No, not at all. I've never had any experiences where I felt like I was being followed, although as I'm getting older, I realize that there's a lot of things I don't necessarily remember, and they sort of come back. I'll give you an example of that very quickly. Just the other day, I was sitting researching some stuff. I don't remember what it was on exactly, but they were talking about missing time, as we've, spoken with other people and folks have experienced this weird phenomenon. And I remember there was a time where I was driving when I was much younger. I must have been 18 or 19 years old. And there was a moment where I know it seems like it would be right at the forefront of my mind, but for whatever reason, it sank to the back. There is a point where I was driving, and then all of a sudden I kind of like blinked and realized that I wasn't where I thought I was. And I ended up being like half hour, 45 minutes from where I should have been. Now, because this is something I just remembered, I'm not putting too much stock into it, but sometimes like when things like this happen, or even when I see something in the sky, in my youth, even my 20s, I would just look at it and say, wow, look at that. I'll be damned. All right, we're gonna keep moving on. And, it's not something I would, take out and capture. It was just sort of normal to me. So I don't know. I've never had anybody follow me, and I hope that I can stay off the radar. But given what we do, I don't think that that's entirely realistic. I think at some point, somebody, if they don't already have my name, they will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do. And I just wanted to
sure
let people know what I got wasn't the official police report. It was an incident report that they fill out very quickly. So it was just to show that they were there. That's what they do in Arizona. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but I just wanted to clarify. It wasn't the actual. I have the police report, which came 2 days later. But it wasn't from the original cops. It was from the second ones that came. So
That's
I
still
never,
very weird.
I never got I got an incident report, right? But I didn't get the official police report for the second 2 cops that came over that day. I called my wife after they first left, the first 2, and I was like, did you call the cops for me for some reason? Maybe that's why they sent. She's like, no, I didn't do that. But your story is really weird. I mean,
oh man,
that stuff is just mind-boggling. I'm sorry. I just
you have no explanation for it.
I'm just trying to think, and it hurts. It hurts to think. There's a lot of weird things that happen to researchers out there, but weird things have always happened in my life. Have they always happened to you?
Oh, absolutely. It's the same for most of those people who have been introduced to the paranormal, let's say, at a very young age, or just kind of came naturally. Yeah, I mean, even in the way of synchronicities and so forth. I mean, I knew that I was going to move to Massachusetts when I was 12. That I was going to do that. I was going to go to college in Massachusetts, and that's where I was supposed to be. And I knew that I was going to meet somebody in the romantic sense at a certain time when I got up into Massachusetts, many years later. Well, that's exactly what happened. I was accepted to UMass Lowell. I went there for a couple of years before I went somewhere else, but I did do all of those things. I lived up in Massachusetts, when I was younger. I met somebody who I almost married the girl. We'll put it that way, but you know how young love is. But I knew that before, just to give an example of some sort of premonition or synchronicity that I knew something was there for me. But yeah, definitely. What other things have you noticed, even in your youth, Rich, that you would deem as very odd and unexplainable?
Well, the dreams that I continuously had over the years, especially when I was 13, 14, around there, maybe even up to 15, I kept having a recurring dream of walking through the kitchen, seeing my mom look out the window, major thunderstorm in the outback. And I open up the door. My mother's just standing there looking straight ahead, not moving, barely turning her head to look at me, which I thought was weird. But I didn't say anything because the thunderstorm was so exciting. And then I walked out. It wasn't raining. The thunderstorm was very close. And when I walked out to the pool, there was a UFO that came out of the clouds, a big one. I would have to say about 30, 40 feet. And it came sideways right up to me, like it. You know how you hear them? They're horizontal and then they tilt a little bit. This one tilted about 45 degrees, and it went over the pool and came up to me at the edge of the bricks. And then 2 little ones came out of the back end of it, which were about 3 to 5 feet. And they kind of hung out on either side, and it kept inching closer to me and closer until I could touch it. But it was huge. I mean, this thing was enormous, and we had an acre, so where the pool was, it was wide open. There was no trees it could hit or anything. We didn't have to have gates up either back then. So it came up to me, and when I touched it, my whole body vibrated. I felt the vibration before I even touched it, and it was bizarre. When I looked at it and the lightning was still going off, you could see that the craft looked like the game Tetris. It had different shapes and cubes, and what I imagined and somehow knew was that this object could change its shape by reformatting the cubes. And the long, and the long. Now Tetris, I don't even remember the game. I never played that game when I was a kid, but it's not unusual for people to see things like I saw. There is a depiction of that on the internet, and somebody sent it to me, and it freaked me out. I'm like, that is it. I can't believe it. Somebody else saw that too. And when it left, it backed up, and it turned totally on its side, and the two went back up in it. The little ones went back into the back end, and when it shot off still vertical, and when it went across the sky. Now I know this is stupid, but E.T. was out, 1982, 83, and when it took off, there was a rainbow behind it. So, and in the dream, I'm like, wow, that's like fireworks. I remember saying it. And in my dream, I kept saying, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe how I feel. I can't believe what I saw. And I remember knowing that this was for me. I felt like only I will know that this existed. And I felt really special. I felt like I'm seeing something, and I knew in the dream it wasn't a dream. I kept telling myself, this isn't a dream. It's really happening. And then I woke up.
So in the dream, you're telling yourself that it isn't happening, so you're aware that you're dreaming.
Yes,
lucidly.
That happened just the other day. As a matter of fact, I was having a couple of cool dreams, and it hasn't happened in a very long time. I have lots of dreams where I know I'm dreaming, but the only thing I can't do is stop the dream from ending. As soon as I realize I'm in a dream, it breaks up, and then I only see pieces and pieces, less pieces, and then I don't, and then I wake up and it's over. So the fact that I recognize it ends it. So I try not to. In the dream, I'm like, don't recognize it. Don't recognize it, I tell myself. It's really
Have
cool.
you ever tried to do any practices that would help you to sustain a lucid dream?
No.
I got one for you. You ready?
Hell yeah.
This is an easy one. I've been using this one for a long time. And actually, when I first started using this was many years ago. And I really wanted to pursue lucid dreaming. And it took me, I'm going to say it took me about 2 months of doing this exercise a couple times a day. All right. Okay. So essentially, this is what it is. Okay. So you're looking for, if you can look for your hands in your dream, that will be the thing that allows you to understand that you're in the dream state. Okay. And how you can start doing this. Now, okay, so I'm going to give you exercise and I'll explain it a little bit, the background there. So the idea is that you're sitting down, okay, wherever you are, doesn't matter. Look at your hands very quickly and then look at something else in the room. But you're going to do this almost in an instant, okay? So if you were to say there was a count to this, so it's hands, object, hands, object, hands, object. And what you do as you continue to do this, you're not giving your mind the moment to actually understand what it's looking at and comprehend, and then start to think about, where it wants to go with this thought. So you're still keeping your hands at the forefront of this exercise so that it becomes so natural in rhythm and your mind gets used to this, that when you go into dreaming and that second you start realizing you're lucid dreaming, look at your hands. And this will be your focus to stay in the dream. Because what happens is when you lucid dream, one, it takes a lot of energy to do so. And sometimes people have trouble holding that, and that's why the dream dissipates. Or two, the mind decides that it wants to be distracted and head off to the left a little bit. And, as dreams tend to do, we'll be in one place and then we see something in a dream, we get sucked into that. Now we're in a completely different dream, different space. So same idea. So the hands are supposed to represent a constant that you'll see in your dream. And believe me, it fucking works, dude. It works.
Wow.
I've been able to use this.
How did you learn this?
Believe it or not, and I hate that I keep having this guy's name in my mouth, but you know what? He did make a difference in some ways.
Yeah.
Carlos Castaneda.
Oh, so that's
Carlos
okay.
Castaneda.
It doesn't matter where it comes from sometimes, as long as it works.
I mean, the thing is, I really think that the guy was a fraud through and through, but he had some principles in his writings that they carry weight. They actually have some validity to him. So I don't know.
That's what makes the frauds seem real. You're not sure. Sometimes they say something that works. Maybe that's why, Very, but why? And okay, It's just bizarre that you would choose your hands. I don't get that. Why can't I just choose my not even me? Why focus on you? To show that you're in it? I don't get it.
I think he's using the hands as an example. It could be something else, preferably that was on you, because when you go into a dream, you're not taking your cell phone from this world or your watch, something like that, an object that you can then use that as the constant in the dream. Your hands are always there. Maybe it could be your feet too. Sure. It could be your elbows. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think that, the idea that you're bringing this idea into your dream body, knowing that your dream body exists, at least insofar as we understand it. And I think that's why he chose the hands.
And I got a message from Nicole that Stewie is a melon head.
Ha! Nice! I'd like to know how you know that.
Well, maybe she'll tell us. I like this interesting topic tonight. This is very fun. We learned a lot about now some of these cryptids I've seen, but didn't know that they were actually cryptids. Mm-hmm. So everything we talked about was a cryptid, huh?
Pretty much, man. Yeah. I think there was only one that had the idea of being more of a specter in certain ways, and that might have been the Bunyip.
Right.
But, we already covered that. So, yeah.
It's so cool. There's a lot out there, and you made a good point or asked a good question, too, actually, that where is the evidence? Like, why can't we ever get this bona fide evidence of something? Well, isn't the Montauk Monster? Isn't that bona fide evidence of that one?
I think because we have pictures and, eyewitness testimony, sure, but those bodies, the 3 times I believe that it happened, were all swiftly taken away by someone.
So we never found out the bottom line on those, did we?
No, we didn't. No, but the thing is, Plum Island is right there, and they have been known to test on animals for many, many years. So, it's always possible that something comes from, that end as well. It may not be so esoteric, but you know what? It might be esoteric too. It's really hard to tell because those bodies were pretty decomposed for what they were worth.
I know. It's very odd, though, but interesting.
Yeah.
So, do you have any guests coming up on your show this week or soon?
I do. I just have to actually, when I'm done talking to you here, I'm sending out the last round of emails just to confirm the times, and then I'll be able to release those names of who's coming on next week. But I have a couple that I know that you guys will be interested in seeing, so keep your eye out.
You can't tell us yet, but you will eventually. Right?
I will.
Just making sure it's probably confirmed, absolutely. I guess, and stuff like that. Crossing T's,
yeah, just settling. Exactly, that's what it is. Crossing T's, dotting I's, making sure that we're on the same page in terms of time and dates. Because as Jonathan's Trinity Martin knows very well, I fucked that time up when he was supposed to be on, and it was my fault. I didn't know that he was in Peru. I thought he was in the UK. So, honest mistake. But that being said, I ended up missing that show with him, and we had to reschedule. So, yeah, that's okay. Just he was cool about it.
So I got something really freaking cool to show everybody. I wish you could see it, but you'll get it delayed on your phone if you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to forget this. I was going to make this part of just an isolated video. Shoot, I still want to. I don't want to talk about it, as a matter of fact. That's how cool this is.
Oh, okay.
Damn it. It has to do with the gimbal, the 3 videos that they put out, TTSA. And there is possible evidence that there's another one that looks just like it that was photographed, and I don't want to tell you where. But it's a match. It's 100% match. And it comes from a listener called Made in England. He's usually in our chat room if he's awake, because he's in England. It's an 7-hour, 8-hour difference. So, when we're on, it's 5 a.m. for him. So, but other than that, he sent it to me. Darn it. I don't know why I said that. Now I did that to you. Yeah, I'm going to make the video. It'll be up tomorrow. It's too good just to not... I don't know, man. What am I supposed to do?
No, that's good. You know what? We can wait. If it's something that good,
it's exclusive.
And I love your premieres. There you go. Then you ought to highlight that. Yeah. we can wait a day.
He says nobody else has ever seen this or talked about it. It's going to be exclusive.
Well, now you're just teasing me.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I have
now,
no choice. So Fox News has a segment out, and it's called New Theory Suggests Universe is a Simulation and that Nothing is Real. Michio Kaku breaks down the new theory of reality. And this is from Kennedy. You know, her, whatever, he, her. Is it Kennedy? Is it the woman? So I'm just going to play a small clip. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, Michael.
I don't know. Let's find out.
You didn't hear my video, right?
No, I didn't. It's going through the same. Okay, maybe
That's
I
a
won't be able
shame.
to hear it. That's okay. I'll catch the playback as soon as we're done. That's fine.
All right, I'm only going to play a minute and a half, so here we go.
fine. Yep.
Let me make this big. That's what she said.
Looking for an
Hey.
education that can support online learning?
Twice, actually.
Hey.
What?
I don't want to play the ad. There's an ad playing because it's not YouTube. Here we go. All right, that's not loud at all. There it is.
A Swedish philosopher proposed that very idea back in 2003, but now a new theory is taking things one crazier step further, suggesting that we are living in a simulation made of pure thought.
We're
As
mating in
we aren't living in a supercomputer,
reality
but
that is
rather
pure thought, he
everything
says.
you do and see and taste, everything, it's just information,
It's just information in an idea.
In other words, you aren't physically real.
You aren't
Nothing
physically
else is
real.
either.
Nothing else is
your
either.
mind blown
Is
yet?
your mind...
Kennedy recently discussed this theory with best-selling author, professor, and theoretical physicist Dr. Michio Kaku. Check it out.
Oh, he says Michio Kaku.
So tell me about the idea
It is Kennedy.
of immaterialism manifesting as our universe.
Well, we've all seen the movie The Matrix, and then you begin to wonder, computer games are getting so realistic that maybe these avatars are real, and maybe we are avatars. Maybe we are nothing but cosmic digitized figures dancing on somebody's computer screen. And then to take it one step even farther than that, let's say that this person who hits the play button, starting this video game, has a dream. And we are the dream. And so cosmic consciousness then determines the existence of reality itself. And so that gives an entirely new meaning to the question of, is reality just a dream?
He's saying that when somebody turns on a video game or they go to sleep and they dream, we are the dream. We're in their thoughts. Everything that's happening now is inside somebody's head. Where? Well, maybe he'll say. Let's see.
A figment of somebody's subconscious dreaming?
Are we the figment of somebody's subconscious dream? Get out of town, Jack.
Well, believe it or not, quantum physicists are looking at some of these ideas rather carefully.
And what do they gather from the proposition that it is a simulation and the principle of efficient language, which doesn't require materialism or a physical universe?
Well, I tend to be skeptical of these ideas that say that the Matrix is reality because of something called the butterfly effect. The weather is so complicated that even the fluttering of a butterfly's wing can create a cascade of tipping points to tip over a hurricane or a storm. So in other words, it's very difficult to simulate the weather as you...
All right, we got to stop it there. I don't know how much I could play. But he said that it's extremely difficult to simulate the weather. The flapping of a butterfly's wings could tip over a hurricane, and change the weather that drastically if it was a simulation. That is bizarre.
That was called, what was that effect called?
Effect.
It's a butterfly effect, right? Yeah,
Sure,
okay.
Yeah. That is crazy. That's crazy. And I can't believe this. I am having like a very strange coincidence today. Today's a weird day. I can't explain the first one, but I just had it happen again. I was thinking about and I said this to myself. I go, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? I said, yeah, of course it does. You're just not there to hear it. So how do you know what happened? I'm like, oh, damn it. I had to go down that road. And I had that conversation with myself. How do you know? That's what he's saying.
It's great. I love that expression, or philosophical question.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than the sound of one hand clapping, which we've all gotten around one way or another. And so we sit, that's in our mind is pretty resolved. But the tree falling in the woods, yeah, sure. I mean, we could sit here and say, of course, it makes a sound. In terms of how we understand physics. But if there's nobody there to observe that and call it sound, you know what I mean? Does it exist? And also, because we remember the Slit experiment that was done recently with the molecules and how they noticed that when somebody was giving attention,
observing
the molecule would it would change trajectory. So I mean, I don't know. Knowing that, I don't know.
That is so freaking bizarre. I don't understand this. But how can you record in the split? I mean, I have to play the video again tomorrow. We know we're almost out of time, but how do you know it changed if you didn't see it the first time, the slit? And I know they have a way of proving it. I just can't verbalize it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's very, complicated the way that they put that together. But, I kind of think of life in a certain way, if I'm playing around in my mind about this. All right. So imagine you're in a video game, but this is an old retro game and you can only see however many feet in front of you because the screen hasn't finished rendering the rest of what's there. Now, as you move forward, the environment around you is rendering. And after you've walked around, the area, you now have in your head a complete map of what this area looks like. Although in the game, you're still standing in one area that's being rendered while the rest of it isn't being rendered.
Right.
Do you see where I'm going with this a little bit?
Do. Yeah, you only see what you need to see.
It's hard to explain it, so
it exists when you're.
And maybe that's all you're seeing.
Because you're looking in that direction. That's why it exists. Right.
I think there's something there. Yeah, I think there's something there with that.
Here, I found
because even people were saying. Go ahead.
No, you first.
I was just going to say, even people have proposed that when you walk out in public, not everybody that you look at is actually a person. That there might be some sort of, oh God, it's going to be tough to explain, like a holographic projection from your own mind that, is seeing these people. And if you're not interacting with them, they're just backdrop, static. Really?
That's what it looks like because you're not focusing on them. Your eyes can only focus on points. So everything else becomes a blur. I get it. But it's hard to...
Does it mean that they don't exist, though?
Right. Yeah, I know. No,
that's the question.
They exist in their program.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's got to be something there, man. This is something to explore. Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off,
You're
dude.
not cutting me off at all. At all. I'm cutting you off. The thing is, I found the Slit experiment. We've got 4 minutes left, so I'm going to play 2 minutes of this. See if we can get an answer out of this guy. Hold on. I'm trying to get this down, and I don't know why I'm not. This is so weird. What am I doing wrong? I can't figure out how to move you. Oh, I know. Oh, God. Here we go.
Professor Dave here. Let's talk about the double slit experiment.
Double slit
experiment. He knows a lot about the science stuff. Professor Dave explains.
In learning about the first few discoveries that led to the development of quantum mechanics, we discussed wave-particle duality. So we understand that both light and matter behave as both particles and waves. But we glossed over some of the technical details, so let's zoom in for a moment. In 1801, Thomas Young performed experiments where light was passed through a plane with 2 slits in it.
They first tried this experiment in 1801.
Striking a screen beyond. The diffraction and interference patterns that resulted clearly supported the wave model of light,
They're talking about the light. When you shine the light through 2 slits and the waves branch out and go through 5 other slits. It's pretty cool.
The brighter bands representing constructive interference and the darker bands representing destructive interference, with the width of the bands being a function of the frequency of the light.
Right.
Later in the century, Maxwell showed that light is a wave of oscillating electric and magnetic fields. So it seemed as though the case was closed on the declaration of light as waves. But
light is a wave, not particles. Einstein showed that light is made of particles.
As we said, in 1905, Einstein solved the problem of the photoelectric effect by assigning particle nature to light. Thus, wave-particle duality
you
was
assigned
born.
particle nature to light.
Later,
light
de Broglie
is both a
proposed that
particle
particles
and a wave,
must
Michael.
therefore also display wave-like behavior. And this was shown to be true in an experiment, just like Young's more than 100 years prior.
Thank you.
This modern version is what we are typically referring to when we talk about the double-slit experiment. From this, it was shown that a beam of electrons exhibits diffraction and interference patterns.
All right, I have to stop it there because I really can't play too much more than that, or else, you know, the kids, YouTube. But I want to thank you, Michael, for coming on tonight. Save the show. Thank you so much. And where can all these fine folks find you?
Thank you very much, Rich. You know, I always enjoy hanging out with you, and I appreciate you considering me when you needed some help with the show tonight. But, you know, as we all know, you say that a lot, and then, you know, you do these fantastic shows anyway. So that being said, you guys can find me at DARKHOUR Paranormal and on Third Phase along with Rich. And I don't have to ask where they can find you, Rich, because they all know, at least the ones that are here. But otherwise,
you can find me here on GUFON and also Third Phase. And Michael and I will be doing another video shortly. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but probably I'm going to be working on some. If Third Phase puts up a video tonight, which I think they will, then you will see a analysis of that video from Michael and myself. Tomorrow we'll be back. Let me get this going here, Michael. Don't go anywhere. I want to talk to you when it's all said and done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
when the party starts.
Right. And the party starts. Exactly. Some people ask me, they go, why don't you have an after party discussion group? And I'm like, that's what the show is for. You know, for me. I mean, but it's hard for me to do 2 hours by myself, you know. So after talking for another hour or two, it wears on me. It's hard. I wish I could. I wish I could hang out with everybody. But you guys go to your other shows right after, right? They do all that. Everybody does their own thing. But
they do.
That's kind of why. It's just tiring. I'm tired when I'm done doing 2 hours.
Yeah, but then again, Rich, at the end of that, most times, as you know, I've seen you're working on something else, whether you sit down to do an edit or, you know, you're as soon as you're done with the show, even before, I mean, you're always working, brother. So there's no question that, you know, I believe that, man.
It's true. Yeah. I went to bed right after the show last night, woke up at 2:30, and then I started editing at 3, got done at 6:30, 6 o'clock. And then I set it to go, I thought it was 7. Wait, no, 9 o'clock. I'm thinking about the night before, last night. Yeah, so I set it for 9 my time. Then I fell asleep again and missed the whole entire thing. I slept I set that up, I think I slept from 7:30, because the last time I saw the clock was at 7:06 a.m. And then I think I fell asleep and I woke up at 4:45. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah, I didn't mean it. All right,
you gotta have your sleep too.
I'm trying to dislodge you from this here, and I can't. This is really strange what's happening right here. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. All right. You know what I'm trying to do, right? No, you don't. Nobody knows.
Sure I do.
You do?
I know.
There we go.
Oh, I know all about it. I wrote a book on it, bro.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right.
You know what?
I want to thank everybody for hanging out. And we'll be back tomorrow, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on GUFON. Thank you, moderators. Thank you so much, Coraline. Like I said, you don't have to use it. It's just there. And I'd like to say thank you to Super Chatters. Thank you so much. All generositos, newcomers and veterans alike. Thank you for coming and hanging out and giving us a little chance to give you some information and have a good time. Yep, that's it. That's it. So if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out. Good night, everybody.